you want to get a second citizenship through one of the Caribbean citizenship by investment programs. That's exactly what I did many, many years ago. I got St. Kitts and Nevis citizenship. Beautiful passport. I've used it to travel to over 20 countries, and it kind of saved my life when traveling through Asia, because the other passports that I have 4 in total, all of them needed a visa to Taiwan. And I booked a trip to Taiwan without even knowing that, because I thought, whatever, they all have visa free. But actually St. Kitts was the only one that didn't need a visa to go there. So I was pretty much saved by this passport. Whether you're getting it for privacy, protection, for your family, to renounce U.S. citizenship, you want to get something that is a traditional citizenship by investment program, not citizenship by exception or by merit. You don't want to buy real estate. You just want to go straight to the Caribbean. I understand. But you need to be careful. There are multiple countries, St. Kitts and Nevis, Dominica, St. Lucia, Antigua, and Grenada, that sell their citizenship. It's a very transactional thing. They are thinking of adding residency requirements, like a 30-day requirement within 5 years of getting your citizenship. So you would need to spend 6 days per year or 7 days per year in the country where you get your citizenship for the next 5 years after obtaining it, which is quite annoying. If you live in Asia or Singapore, or you live somewhere very far away from St. Kitts or from Antigua or from any of these countries, it's obviously going to make it much harder. Now they've added on more due diligence. The process is much longer than when I got the citizenship, and that's typically what happens with every citizenship program. The legal ones, not the shady ones that they're trying to sell you. The legal ones, things get harder. Prices go up, timelines get longer, and so on and so forth, because governments want to control this, and these Western governments, like in the EU and US, they want to push these countries. Also, a lot of these countries are in the US travel ban, or the proposed US travel ban. So if for you, getting to the US or renouncing US citizenship to then go back to the US is important, then I would focus more on Grenada. Grenada is a country that has pretty much the same visa-free access, pretty much the same program. $235,000 gets you a Grenadian passport. The great thing about Grenada is that you can get an E2 visa to go back to the United States, and they are not included in the proposed travel ban. Whereas St. Kitts, Antigua, Dominica, all these countries are in the proposed travel ban. And also, we're losing visa-free access to some countries. Like, for example, Dominica lost access to the UK. We might lose access to the Schengen area just because the EU and the EU government in general, even though I love some EU countries, not the crazy ones like Belgium or Germany or France, I love more Eastern EU countries. The EU in general is very hypercritical in who they allow to enter the European Union, because they give citizenship to millions of Turks, Syrians, Afghans, and they let them in without checking their documentation, without doing anything. But no, legitimate investors that get St. Kitts passports, that get Dominica passports, no, we don't want those. We don't want the people that buy their way into Europe. We want the people that come in a boat without any documents. It's completely hypocritical, but that is the state that we are in. If you want to get, for example, Caribbean citizenship for your whole family, Antigua might be a good option, because you pay $230K and you get it for the whole family. Whereas with other countries, you have more fees, you have overall a harder process to do your entire family, because a lot of clients, even though they might be a UK citizen, a Canadian citizen, a Hong Kong citizen, we have some clients from Hong Kong, they have a solid passport, they can travel all over the world with it. They want to have a second option because they don't trust China. Canadian people don't trust Canada. UK people hate the direction of the UK. They want to get a second passport. They want to do it for their whole family. Antigua and Grenada work out pretty well. I got St. Kitts and Nevis for $150,000 because it was the premium program back then. It is still the premium program, longest running program, sort of platinum brand, although I really fell for that back then. I talked to some consultants and I was like, look, what's the best program? Oh, St. Kitts for sure is the best program. And some people come to me and they say, look, I want St. Kitts, or I want Dominica, or I want Antigua, 100%, this is the country that I want. Well, we're going to help you get whatever you want or whatever you need and try to consult your way through that. I wanted St. Kitts, I got St. Kitts. I'm very happy I did, because it provides visa-free travel to the countries that I want to go to. For example, for Paraguay, I don't need a visa. For Argentina, I don't need a visa. Countries like this that with other Caribbean programs, you need a visa. But for most people that are applying for these programs, it really doesn't matter. They're just doing it for self-protection, for having more privacy, for not belonging to a government that is going to try to control their whole life. If at any point in the future you want to live somewhere that is tax-free or low tax, Antigua, tax-free. St. Kitts and Nevis, tax-free. You can legally live in these islands as a citizen and not pay any taxes on all your income legally, as long as you're tax non-resident in your home country or not a citizen of the United States or permanent resident of the United States, because you need to pay taxes anyway. But you could at some point decide to relocate to the Caribbean and then not pay any taxes legally. Now, determining which type of program you want to do, whether it's donation or real estate. Some countries like Dominica offer real estate at a very low price point, like $200,000. Or St. Kitts and Nevis has recently launched the Four Seasons Nevis, which is an amazing property. Four Seasons, obviously top of the line. A lot of people are interested in buying real estate in the Caribbean, getting that citizenship, and then selling it after 5 or 7 years. What I don't like about the Caribbean is obviously the hurricanes. I'm from Puerto Rico. All these islands are literally a couple of kilometers away from Puerto Rico, and we've had horrible hurricanes. And if a huge hurricane comes to the Caribbean, there's one coming in a couple of days. If one comes to the Caribbean and just rips through your property, yes, there is hurricane insurance. Sure, there is home insurance, but good luck getting all your money from a hurricane insurance company. It is just going to be very difficult. It might devastate the whole country. It just might be a hassle. You might save a little bit of money. You might recover that money in a couple of years. It might stay in your balance sheet. But overall, for most people doing the donation, just paying a country, paying Grenada $235K, paying Dominica $200K, paying Antigua $230K, it makes a lot more sense. And now the timelines are longer than when I did my process. When I got my St. Kitts passport, 6.5 months. Now, minimum 7 to 8 months. Sometimes looking at about a year. St. Lucia, a country that I didn't talk about that much because they have troubles with banking, they have trouble with the bank transfers. Overall, it's very tricky to get St. Lucia citizenship now. It can extend up to a year and a half. In some cases, some people have been waiting for 2 years. Some people, because of the restrictions that they did on certain nationalities, have been waiting for even longer. So you have to be very careful with choosing the country in terms of the timeline that you're going to be waiting. And also the funds that you're going to use for the program. That is why, for example, Vanuatu, a country that I don't recommend that much for citizenship, but some people do get Vanuatu citizenship as a self-protection, as running a business under that citizenship, more for KYC. Obviously, we're following the law. We're not committing anything illegal. We're not trying to avoid any government illegally. We're just doing things for our own privacy, for our own financial privacy and life privacy in general, from anybody that wants to sue us or check into our finances, anything like that. People get Vanuatu citizenship easily through crypto. It is not that easy to get citizenship in the Caribbean with crypto. I did not pay with crypto. I paid from business profits, and from my personal bank account, I paid 150 grand. A lot of people have to cash out first, or all people have to cash out first before they pay the government. So you're not paying 250, 230K directly in crypto. You're cashing that out and then paying. And some countries are really tricky at considering crypto as a source of funds. So if you want a country where you can just pay crypto, Vanuatu, El Salvador, and other countries for citizenship by merit, you can find out about them if you book a call. We'll talk to you about all the options. With other countries like Antigua, you can cash out the crypto and they can take crypto as a source of funds. So if you do crypto investing and that's your whole source of funds, that's all of your money, you do have to be careful in which one you pick. Overall, I'm very happy that I spent 150 grand on a citizenship in the Caribbean. I wouldn't really recommend it to everyone. I think there's better options. If you're spending 250, 300 grand in Caribbean, you could spend a little bit more on another more solid country where you could see yourself living in, that has better visa-free travel, that has better long-term potential. There are better options. That's why I say book a call with us to compare all of them. But if you're set on the Caribbean, great investment. It's going to help you with privacy, with financial protection. You can open companies with it. You can use it for KYC legally. Everything you do is legal. And obviously, you can use it in the future if you ever want to relocate somewhere that is much lower tax and you want to leave behind your high tax country. Two little words of caution. The first one with illegal discounting. There is a company that was blacklisted by St. Kitts and Nevis because they did so much illegal discounting. They lost the country millions of dollars, and now they're promoting again St. Kitts, they're promoting again Caribbean. Be careful with these companies. Most of them are based in the UAE or in the Middle East in general, and they say, oh, you can get St. Kitts with 120 grand. You don't need to spend 250. Or you can get Dominica with 120, 150. You don't need to spend 200. This is illegal. St. Kitts and other countries have already sent letters asking for a top-up of their donation, a top-up of the funds. Only follow the exact price on the government website for these programs. These are clear programs. They tell you what price you need to pay in order to get your citizenship. Citizenship by merit, by exception, that's a whole different deal. They determine it case by case. These countries, you pay the price, you get the passport, don't get illegal discounts. And also about losing visa-free travel, do I think they're gonna lose access to the Schengen area? The probability, I would say, is medium to high of losing access to the Schengen area, just because they keep adding on more restrictions. They keep adding on more due diligence regulations for these countries, the EU, the US, they wanna add them to the travel ban and so on. It's just gonna keep going and going and going. They're now gonna add a residency requirement. They've added more due diligence. They added interviews. Overall, they've added so many things in order to appease these high-tax Western countries, and they're gonna keep adding more and more things to appease these countries. For now, I think they're gonna keep it, but don't count on it. So if you wanna get one of these passports and you still wanna have access to the Schengen area, for example, and you're a US citizen that's going to renounce, just get an EU golden visa. Get a St. Kitts passport or any of these other citizenships and get a golden visa in Portugal, get a golden visa in Latvia, get a golden visa in Hungary, something that gives you permanent access to the Schengen area without relying or being scared that you're gonna lose it on one of these Caribbean programs. If you wanna get a second citizenship and you wanna see all the options available around the world, you wanna check out this video right here on all the countries my clients are choosing for citizenship and residency all over the world, what my wealthiest clients choose. Check it out right here.